Peace, family. Um, this is Cassandra Floyd, also known as the Daughter of the Fates. Did I take that off of there? I don't think so. Yeah. Otherwise known as the Daughter of the Fates, founder of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. And I know it's been some time, and I know I'm late for this one. And that's all I got to say about that. Yeah, so let me set a couple things in place. I guess I should have did that before I made this live. So let me turn on my IG and on my TikTok, and we'll do a short walk. That's all it's gonna be. It's a short walk. Because today has been a very, very, very long and packed and loaded day. And I still have much, much, much to do. So it'll probably be another one of those. Oof, I can't even. Ooh, shit. Sorry. Can't even remember the last time I went to sleep before 4. So just a lot happening. A lot of crisis managing and money hustling and all type of shit. And let me fix this. So I'm going doing multiple rigs here. So let me put this here. Yes, that looks like it will work. And then yeah, this here. Yeah, turn this way. Yeah, that looks like it will do. Oop, oop. It'll do. Hey man. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm live. Okay, it says I'm live. Shit, I should have. So anyway, greetings everyone that is tuning in. I know it's late, but I made up my mind I was going to do this because tomorrow is an equally busy day. I've been very, very, very busy. Very, very, very inhumanely busy. Okay. I just walked in the door from a 3-hour meeting. I had a 2-hour meeting before that. I had another 2-hour meeting before that. I got up this morning trying to do a bunch of logistical work about this campaign I'm about to have to start running. And so, yeah, I've been crazy busy today. And it looks like it's going to be that way for the foreseeable future. So I'm really going to have to hold myself to like a schedule and a routine for going live, because something else that occurred to me today while trying to do logistics for my own channel, it occurred to me today. I haven't been paying attention to it that much, but I've been saying like, damn, okay, I've been kind of conceding that, maybe it's my explicatives that, are the responsible for why, I'm not getting a lot of followers. And somebody commented on one of my old lives today, and it's an old live. I think it was from the reading of the Sibyls. And when I went back to watch this this thing that the sister had commented on, I was like, "Oh shit!" It didn't occur to me until today. this live that I did was over a year ago, and over a year ago, I had the same amount of followers that I do today. I said, okay, so no, something is really, really up with my channel. Like these motherfuckers are really suppressing my channel, and I can't have it because this has been a year. I'm thinking it's just been a couple of months and I haven't seen like the little, thing move in the number of like subscribers that I have. Oh no, it hasn't moved in a year. But because I've been so goddamn busy, I haven't even noticed that my follower numbers haven't changed at all. I'm thinking they just only changed a little bit. No, it hasn't changed at all in a year. So I am going to have to spend the next, it's probably going to take 2 weeks, saving all of my lives, saving all my videos on my YouTube channel, just like downloading all of my lives. And what I think I'm going to do with this channel is just take everything off this channel that is not book reading. I'm going to have to take everything off this channel that is not book reading so that they can stop fucking with my money. They can stop fucking with the Faye. I know good and damn well I should have. It took me 2 years to get 4,000 followers. And you mean in a whole year, I've only had 16 new followers? So they really playing with my shit right now. And, the only thing that I can imagine is the case is because I won't self-censor. So with that being said, since I won't self-censor, I'm gonna have to be really diligent now. I've been threatening it for some time, but now I see I'm gonna have to be really diligent about launching my Patreon that I've been paying for a year and ain't used. So launching my Patreon, and that is the place that I will do like lives that I can do uncensored, and then just reserving my YouTube channel for saving my YouTube channel for the reading of books. I'm just gonna have to do that because my page has now been monetized 2 years, and even though I still make money, on my YouTube channel, it, like I said, I have been so perpetually, consistently busy that like things that are not like urgent logistical work, urgent. Thank you so much for the donation, Java Watson. I appreciate you for that. And probably what I've been threatening with myself for the last couple of weeks that I want to get back to pulling the records of the donations that people continue to make to the channel and to the temple, so I can start really shouting you guys out, like really like just take a few minutes at the top to just blast everybody that has made contributions. I really want to do that. So I'm going to make the commitment to start doing that at least once a week, just running down the line of people who have either become paid subscribers or have donated in any way. So those are some logistical things that I have to take care of, especially with my YouTube channel, because I really want, and my channel has the ability to do that. It has come close once, right? Where my channel has the ability to, at bare minimum, pay my rent, right? Like what I get in a single month. The biggest month that I've had was in August, where I made just under $1,000, and that was not even trying. So it did show me that I haven't made that again, but it does show me that I have the capacity for my channel to at least pay my rent, which I'm going to need, because I had a 2-hour meeting today with the Department of Ethics Commission, LA Ethics Commission. And I have 2 more things that I have to do that I'll be taking care of tomorrow, with the feds, with the state, and with the city, so that I can start actually beginning to propagate the fact that I'm running for mayor of Los Angeles. Okay, so all of the paperwork is done. My name is on the roster, so my bid is official. But I have to open up an account for the campaign, and I have to. I did the meeting today on like just a bunch of logistical shit to do while running for office in the city. And then after I get the checking account opened and the EIN with the IRS for specifically for the campaign, then I can, go ahead and launch the website and any kind of social media that I'm going to use, and is on and popping. Because then I have to go through another two things. The first week in January, there's a mandatory meeting. The second week in January, there's a mandatory meeting. And then the first week in February is the final meeting, to officially declare your intentions to run for office in the city of Los Angeles. So it's on and popping. Like, I already did the paperwork. I'm already on the roster. So as of last Tuesday, Cassandra is a candidate for the mayor of Los Angeles. So yes, whoever asked that, let's see. Yes, it is official. I've been sitting on it for some time. Really, I see you, Miss Chris. Yeah, really, I've been sitting on this for some time. I've been sitting on this for some time. Honestly, I've been sitting on this for some time to attempt to talk myself out of it. Um, it's interesting because when I talk to the people that are closest to me about what my intentions are, and the rationale behind why I am doing this, it just never ceases to amaze me. It never ceases to amaze me, the place that we are in, the place that we are in the world, where, and it's not just me, it is something that has been evident for a very, very, very long time. And women who are way smarter than me historically, women who are light years ahead in their intellect of me, right, have said the same thing, that to be black and female, to be an intellect, if you are black and female, to be a genius and be black and female, to be brilliant and black and female, that word they love to use so much, to be articulate and black and female, to be the smartest bitch in the room and black and female, and to always have someone in that same space attempt to reduce, attempt to make light of, attempt to gaslight, attempt to subdue, right? I mean, I remember seeing an interview with Toni Morrison, with this half-wit woman interviewing her with a straight face, child, with a straight face. This woman is a genius, Toni Morrison. This woman was a genius. And this half-wit, this half, what they call it, I think they call it in Christian, goddamn reprobate, child, goddamn intellectual infant and shit. And because she speaks in a certain way, there is an assumption of intellect with a straight face. Ask a genius like troglodyte. Y'all know that's my word, okay? Have this half wit. Instead of coming correct like she would have anybody with a penis, gonna ask Toni Morrison, and because she say it with the sullen British accent, and you think because a person got a British accent, they automatically smart. I'm gonna ask her, do you ever think that you will find it, essential or necessary to write or add white main characters into your stories? Let me just say something about our yay, Toni Morrison. Let me just say something about her and this interview that you can watch right here on YouTube. And her approach to answering that question. Because she said, with a very smooth and soft voice, what's really interesting is that you don't even realize how arrogant this question is. What you don't even realize is that had I been anyone else sitting here, this would not have even been a question that you would have raised. Why would I center any white person into my writing? I don't write for white people. I write for people that look like me. I write for people that white people refuse to write for or about. I write for us. But it's really surprising that you would be so arrogant to ask a question like this of me. And then she went on to, declaring her resume, right? I have written so many books. I am a what is she, a poet laureate? What is she? Didn't she win? Wasn't she the first black woman to win the Nobel Prize? Bitch, who the fuck you? And see, so this is gonna be my problem. I gotta work some things out. I haven't been up on here for a long time because I've been really overwhelmed. I've been overwhelmed because I probably have watched about 3,000 fucking videos over the last week because of all of this mess happening in the world. Every day, some big thing. Every day, some big thing, right? The last time I talked to y'all, what did I tell y'all? What did I tell y'all the last time I talked to y'all? Anybody remember? Anybody remember? About how my homeboy sent me a text right before I got up on that live talking about what you think about what Candace always said, that next week something that is going to be indicative of like a 9/11 style event in the second week of December. Y'all remember that live that I did? Do y'all remember that? Go back and see that live. Because the last, what's the day? Tuesday? The last 4 days, I said, these sons of bitches been playing in y'all face. They don't even have to try good. They can actually be their most basic, their most ignorant, their most mediocre, and you will believe whatever they feed you. This bullshit over the last 48 hours, 72 hours. I'm like, is anybody buying this bullshit? And can y'all stop already? Can y'all stop already? I ain't talking about y'all. I'm talking about these lunatics that we have wielded power to. These child that we have wielded power to. Let me get back to what I was saying about Toni Morrison. And why is the statement about Toni Morrison relevant to me declaring to you that it is official, that I am an official candidate in the bidding for mayor of the city of Los Angeles? Everything that I do, I continue to tell you. Everything that I do, it may appear like chaos to y'all. You don't have to understand the madness of a genius, bitch. Just know that everything that I do is purposeful. It is methodical. There is a reason attached to it. And the obvious reason is always just going to be the immediate frontal reason. That there's going to be 3 levels of reasoning for this thing that just presents as the quote lunacy of a dread-headed black bitch running for the mayor of LA. But I'm always going to put y'all on game. I'm always going to tell you what my reasoning is. Do I give a fuck about the political process the way that it presents itself now? What would be the reasoning after what I've been talking to y'all about for 5 years? What would be the strategic reason for me to put myself in a position to have my entire life put on display in the play that is American electoral politics? I have been declaring to you for 5 years that there is nothing wrong with America. You hear me? When I tell you that there is nothing wrong with America, there is nothing wrong with America. America, at every single stage in its presentation, has always worked exactly how it was created to work. America was created as a weapon of war. I said what I said. America, that you love so much, that you are such a patriot so much. America was created as an instrument of war. It has remained consistent in its presentation as a weapon of war. God damn it. America is a weapon of war. America is a weapon of war. America is a weapon of war. And so until you can reconcile that, you will always believe, that, all we have to do is make a intellectual enough, a stoic enough, a philosophical enough, a politically scientific argument enough to win America to a rightful position. I cannot roll my eyes hard enough at that shit. So y'all know this. It's so interesting what has happened over the last week to me. So much has even up until the moment I walked into my door. So much has happened to me that are these loud confirmations. Let me tell you what happened today. Let me tell you what happened today. I went to my old folks' lunch. I went to my senior citizen lunch today, right? And this person that I sat at, there was 3 men that I sat at the table with, and one of them was an Asian man. His name was Key. He was asking me about my Adinkra symbols, right? And I told him what they meant and where they were from. And he was like, wow, those are very, very, very thick accent. And he was like, wow, those are very powerful. He said, well, what about the stars on your face? And I hesitated because I bought these for myself on my 30th birthday as a declaration of my commitment to a socialist future. I was a socialist, right? He was like, what do you mean you were a socialist? I said, just what I see it. He was like, well, I'm still a socialist. I said, that's all right. He said, but why aren't you a socialist anymore? And I was like, damn, do I really want to have this conversation while I'm just sitting here trying to eat my old people lunch? I would forever call it that. I would forever call it that, my old people lunch, right? I was like, well, I will just say that, socialism hasn't really provided us with a significant enough change, and it hasn't provided a significant enough contention to the alternative for me to concede that all these years later. How old is socialist scientific, what do they call it, scientific materialist philosophy? How old is it? Fucking this, it's 2025, so 150 something goddamn years old. What do socialists have to show? What do socialists have to show for socialism? Not only that, I told him, I said, the more I learn, the more I know that everything that is wrong with capitalism is equally wrong with socialism, is equally wrong with communism. And they all have a common denominator. I said, so no. I said, I'm at the stage of my life where I am certain that the only way forward is to create the radically new. It means new ideas. It means new goddamn philosophies. It means new cultural traditions. It means new every motherfucking thing. That's what it means. That's what it means. And if I have to engage the state using its own philosophy, using its own systems of make believe democracy. Democracy is an illusion, bitch. Democracy is an illusion. Democracy is an illusion. You can't have it both ways. America cannot be born as a weapon of war, baptized in bloodshed, baptized in enslavement, continues to literally rape the entire globe. That's what America does. It continues, not only to rape the globe of resources and wealth and labor, at the same time that is raping the globe of resources and intellect and genius and all of these things, at the same time that it's doing that, this country that only makes up, what is it, 4% of the global population, this country right here, make up 4% of the global population, but represents 43% of global waste. This bitch right here was created as a weapon of war, and not in general, a weapon of war whose primary target is the great primordial divine she known as the great androgyne. This bitch right here is at war with the goddess. It has been empire's most successful weapon against the goddess. Now, however you want to scientifically, philosophically, scientifically, materialistly, if that's your bag, if you an atheist, if you want to explain this through the dogma of science and shit, I got a language for it all. When I say the goddess and this monstrous motherfucker right here created as a weapon of war against the she, and how it has been extremely effective. It has been extremely effective as a war weapon of empire. We cannot continue to ignore and reason away and logic away and explain away what is right in front of our face and has been consistent. Let me tell you something. So much happened today. Let me tell you about Key, though. Key, I'm giving them the lowdown. I was like, look, I ain't a socialist no more. You feel me? But you asked me, and I'm just telling you. I told him, because I haven't talked to y'all in a week. One of the many of the 3,000 goddamn videos that I've seen in the last week, well, I tell you, my brain is swole. I saw a documentary entitled, you can watch it on YouTube, entitled The Unknown Father of Zionism. I said, when I tell you that Yah as the revealer of that which has been hidden, as the she who removes the mask so that all can be judged, all can be seen, and all can be judged. Well, I tell you, she ain't playing no games. She ain't playing no games if you care to see. I saw this damn documentary and I said, just when I thought I could not learn any more about socialism that could make me feel like 15 years of my life have been an utter betrayal. I said, I've been here before, though. I've been here before. I don't know why I keep acting surprised when some diabolically monstrous thing is made seen. The quote, unknown father of Zionism, the greatest initial financial contributor to the creation of the Zionist state, as said by what's his name, Herzl, the first prime minister of Israel. He said out his own mouth, I said mouth, out his own mouth, that had it not been for the extraordinarily generous contributions of Stalin, Israel would not exist. That's what he said. I said, I cannot. I said, I can't. I can't. Joseph Stalin, y'all. I said, God, it was deep. The receipts were profound. This wasn't conspiracy theory. This is who said what, when, how, who hit it, who thought it was necessary to hit it, how he betrayed his own socialist party to do it. The equivalent of the seed funding that Stalin made to the implementation of a Zionist state in Palestine was equivalent to $88 billion in today's money. I said, Listen, my position is what it is. I am so clear. Oh, I am so clear. Because not only did this revelation about Stalin, I wasn't surprised. I want to be clear. I was dismayed and bewildered. I was not surprised. There's a big difference. I was dismayed and bewildered, not surprised. You understand? And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Because we, the women of the world, we, the mothers of this planet, we who have given birth to every human being that lives, continue to make heroes of our sons. We continue to exalt our children over us and cannot figure out why. This world not only, even as these human beings continue to talk about human advancements, bullshit. We are living in the dark ages, and the goddess Oya, aka Hades, aka Pluto, aka Kali, whoever you want to call her, or him for that matter, is creating within each of us the discomfort that you feel, child, the rage that you feel, the frustration that you feel, the inability to, quote, break through, the inability to, quote, ascend, the inability for you to reason in right way about anything is because she is staging a contest, not out here in the big wide world, not out here with millionaires and billionaires who have power over your life. The storm is within you. And you can't stage a contest with nobody while you have not reconciled what is supposed to happen at the end of the storm that rages within you right now. Right goddamn now. Let me go back to Key. Because this elder Asian man that I'm sitting with, and he's asking me why I ain't a socialist no more. I told him about this documentary about Stalin being a, quote, hidden father of Zionism. Why do we act confused? Let me just not default too much. Because what he said in response to this very short conversation that I had with him about why I am no longer a socialist, that I have the confidence of the goddamn entire universe that we can change everything. Nobody will convince me otherwise. I don't give a goddamn. Nobody will convince me otherwise that we right now in this goddamn moment don't have the capacity, the ability, all the experiences, and all the goddamn tools and know-how to wreck this whole goddamn thing and transform the actual living earth, the actual breathing earth, and everyone upon it. I am convinced, and nobody will convince me otherwise. I don't give a damn. Nobody is going to sway me. So I told him, I said, socialism is dead. It is no less a dying and wounded beast than capitalism, than imperialism, than globalism, than any other name you want to give old ass empire. All you're looking at is empire. An empire is mortally wounded. It is wounded. It is done. Its date is done. Its date is done. What the entire universe is waiting for is for us to take up the position of power. We are afraid of power. I just want to hear you. I just want to tell you. We are afraid of power. That is what has been happening. We are afraid to take hold of the reins of power. I'm sitting here having this whole breakthrough this week. Because I'm like, damn, all these radical, brilliant, active, caring, wholehearted human beings that I've met since I've been in LA, people doing radical work, gangster work, game-changing work, feeding thousands of people every weekend, up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, there's so many people doing so much radical work. While at the same time, those people are attempting to appeal to people who have taken possession of power. Who do you think you're talking to? Who do you think you're appealing to? It's really important to call your senator. For what? What do you think that your senator is charged to do for you? Once you have yielded your own power. That's what the vote charges you to do. To yield power to someone else. For them to do with it what they see fit. That's why you always politically betrayed. You're always politically betrayed because you hand over power and they can promise you whatever they promise you to convince you to hand over power. And then you just act surprised when they don't do what they said they was going to do when they took office. They're like, damn, bitch, you handed me the power. I can do what I want. Since when has a politician ever felt guilty or some kind of moral way about lying to its constituency? So who is it that you think you're appealing to? When you call your senator, that's why it's so important for you to vote in the midterm. Child, how did Trump get where he is in the first place? Is it just because a bunch of white people went to vote for him last year? That is not how Trump got into power. Please stop being infantile about what you are witnessing. Please stop doing that. Please stop betraying what you know, you feel in your body, you feel in your flesh. That Trump is just the very splinter-sized peak of a massive iceberg that has been, since the birth of this monstrous institution, creating a multiplicity of ways to rob you of power, to keep you from power, to suppress your memories of what power in your body feels like. What it feels like to be emboldened, what it feels like to be the absolute peak personification of your own God self in the actual material world. And shit. So I told him, I said, I'm not a socialist. And so we talking little bit. He says, I hate that I interrupted your lunch, but I'm so glad that we had this talk. I was like, okay, I didn't even go as deep with him as I just went with y'all. I'm just not a socialist anymore. It's some bullshit. We have to come up with something new. That's essentially what I said. And do you know what this man said to me today? As soon as I left there, I had a meeting. Do you know what this man, I'd say he's probably 75. You know what the 75-year-old man said to me once I told him why I am no longer a socialist? He said, oh my God. He said, you simply must run for office. Have you ever considered running for office? I said, okay. I'm thinking this in my head. Like, what a massive confirmation to what from the outside looks like an act of lunacy, my running for mayor. What an immense confirmation as I was literally leaving there to go into this meeting with the Ethics Commission about my bid. It's that, and I will say, the reason that I was talking about all these people who do all of this radical work, the thing that occurred to me is that there are people that I know in the city, man, who are much more well equipped in terms of the actual civic ins and outs of the electoral process, of the process of running a campaign, and the process if you are successful in the launching and running of your campaign to sit, quote, in the mayor's mansion, the execution of your responsibilities as the mayor of any given city. There are so many people that I know directly right now today who are much more capable of doing this, much more capable. So I'm sitting here all week like, why? It never even occurred to me. Why ain't nobody that I know running for mayor? Why y'all just concede that the people running are the people running, which are 12 fucking millionaires, 10 fucking millionaires, and a billionaire? Why y'all just concede that these are who the candidates are? Why ain't none of these people? The whole I don't know if y'all are familiar with it, like if you're in the East Coast, but out here, not only in California jumped it off, but all the way up the Eastern Seaboard, all throughout the Southwest, this whole idea of public banking becoming a mass idea, community owned, community centered public banking, right? It's a big thing. It's like on the Senate floor. It's huge. The two facilitators of the public banking movement here in California, I have worked in political organizations with the both of them, and they are young. They're at least 10 years younger than I am. I'm like, wait, damn, why did it occur to either one of them to run for mayor? And I'm going to tell you what occurred to me. All of these people, not only here in California, throughout the country that I know in different places are more equipped politically to seize power. Why don't they do that? Why? As a matter of fact, what I said to a homegirl just yesterday, I said, not only why is there nobody else running for mayor, I said, why they ain't 100 motherfuckers just like me with my same political worldview, all these socialists, all these radicals, all these people doing this awesome work in the city, but only affecting a very few percentage because they work in their little realm, you feel me, whether it's feeding the people or this and that and this and that, and they can only impact the lives of those people who are in their immediate cipher. I'm like, why? Not only why am I the only one with my worldview running for mayor, but why has it not occurred to nobody nowhere that we all need to be seizing all the seats that open up, whether it's the judges, whether it's the city councils, the school board, the goddamn mayor, the governor, the Senate, all that. Why has it not occurred to anybody with a radical line that not only do we need to run for these seats, but we need to run 100 motherfuckers just like us for these seats. So no matter who win, we win. No matter who win, we win. Disrupt the entire process. No matter who win, bitch, we win. No matter who win, the people win. You feel me? I have done volunteer work, man, in the 8 years I've been here with countless, and I mean literally countless. I was sitting here trying to create a whole, like a portfolio for this mess I'm about to be up in, and sitting here trying to just recall all of the organizations that I've done volunteer work with since I've been here in California. And when I tell you countless, all awesome organizations, all doing such really impactful work, really impactful work. And I'm like, all these times I'd have been here. This will be the third electoral period that I've been in California. I don't know, but let me just say, I ain't gonna go off on that too long. So that's what it is. That's why I'm up in here perpetually busy. I will be able to say more about what that looks like and what I will require. That's how I got on that, was because I need my YouTube channel to pay my rent. I have seen once where YouTube can do that, but I'm prepping y'all, okay? Because I'm going to strip a ton of stuff off my YouTube channel over the next couple of weeks. I bought another external hard drive, and I am literally about to disappear probably 90% of my YouTube channel. Okay. So I'm just warning you. All right. I didn't say anything about guerrilla warfare. First of all, I ain't say anything about guerrilla warfare. I did not tell y'all what my goals and my overall objectives were. Why the reasoning for me deciding that this is what has to be done in this moment. It is not only what has to be done in this moment. I'm convinced it's why the mother had my ass out here in the first place. I'm convinced. And it is not, again, necessarily about, that's why I started off by saying the thing that you see is not always, quote, just the thing that you see. That for me, the thing that you see is not just the thing, for me, is never just the thing that you see. There are 3, 4, 5, 6 other things behind the thing that you see that are purposeful. That's what this is. There are 3 goals that I need to accomplish in this thing that I am taking upon, that I'm putting myself in this way in the world to accomplish. I just spent this whole thing telling you I do not, listen, this thing cannot work. Not for us. It works for exactly who it's supposed to work for. America works for exactly who it is supposed to work for. It does. It's not broken. It's a well-oiled, functioning machine. And so you believe that America as a godhead, you can't have it both ways. You can't accept that America is a godhead, but that the only way that you can, quote, make change in America that you love as a patriot is to, change the system from within the system. No, baby, that is not me. That is not what I am doing this for. If anything, I am up in there to reveal all the ways that this shit plays in your face. Listen, you'll see when I launch my platform. When I launch the platform, you'll be like, "Oh, okay, I get it. I see where she's going with this." The girl that I asked to be my campaign manager, she a witch, but she still believes in the system, child. She still believes that the only thing that's wrong with the state, the only thing that's wrong with the government, the only thing that's wrong with America is that the wrong people are just in positions of power. That is not my line going into this. I am crystal clear. Now, I have had people call me. My daughter called me concerned. My mama called me concerned. A homeboy that I used to be in the party with called me from Baltimore. He was like, "Yo, like, have you solved your security question?" Listen, I am not stupid. I am crystal clear about what this means for my life. Y'all don't know because y'all don't live in LA. LA is a monstrous place. And it's crazy because I love the city. Do not get me wrong. I love the city. As a regular, everyday citizen who just live in LA, minding their own business and going to work, LA is cool. LA is a monstrous organization. And unless you live here, you would not know. The reason why is because LA is the center of global propaganda. The reason that you, people watching me right now from wherever you're watching me from, do not know that in the last 10 years, I've only been in California 8 years, that in the last 10 years, the LAPD alone, not the LAPD and the Sheriff's Department, just the LAPD alone have killed 700 plus people in this city. In this city. When's the last time y'all heard on the national news about 700 people having been shot by the LAPD? Did y'all know that? That since the year 2000, more than 1,500 people have been murdered by LAPD in this city, and there have only been 2 convictions. 2 since the year 2000. Did y'all know that? Why y'all don't know that? Because this place is the center of global propaganda. The media is owned and controlled. The media, the film industry, the news, music is controlled by the state. Did you know that LA in the entire Western seaboard, right? LA is the headquarters for ooh is the headquarters for the majority of intelligence in this country. When I be telling y'all stories, that's what y'all, we have to start seeing the web, man. We have to start seeing the web of connection. When I tell y'all a story like I did a couple of weeks ago about Laurel Canyon and about this white boy, Jared Leto, that has a cult, right? And how Jared Leto got this cult, right? And how he bought this house in Laurel Canyon, right? But that the house, which you can find his house, you can find on Wikipedia the whole history of this quote house, this compound that he bought for his cult. You feel me? Is the remember what I was telling y'all 2-3 months ago about the Laurel Canyon conspiracy and how all of the great big giant musicians of the 1960s and the hippie movement all had parents that were in the goddamn CIA? Do y'all not remember that? This place here is the global headquarters for propaganda. The global headquarters. The global headquarters. And so when I tell y'all these stories that y'all think are seemingly unrelated, they are always connected. They are always related. They are always connected. They are always related. So when I tell you that I know where I live, and you do not even know the depth of the diabolatry of where I live, when people be talking about there's like a million trillion videos that you can watch about, like the secret societies and Illuminati and witchcraft and devil worship in Los Angeles, and they be going on these deep dives about that bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Can you put that shit in the proper context? What does it mean to make a declaration about witchcraft and secret societies, and you see the evidence of the Illuminati in everything you see? Okay, but to what end, man? To what end? To what end are you revealing the symbols? To what end? What conclusion are you drawing? What does it mean in the real world? How does it change your behavior in the real world? And how does that behavior charge you to move in the world? I know what I'm up against. I know what I'm up against. And I'll be honest, man. Like I said, I'd made my decision in June that I was going to run. And from June until last week when I made the public declaration, I was like, I ain't doing this shit. I'm not doing this shit. I'm not doing this shit. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to put myself in the line of fire like that, because that's what it is. You are talking about 100 plus years of this city, man, shaping the worldview of every human on earth and how they feel about Black people. If you want to know why Black people are having to make videos about where you can and cannot go because people do not like you and your ass will not be slave, that shit comes from LA. It comes from LA. The reason that everybody on the planet hates Black skin. How did that come to be? When just in the 1960s, when the Black Panther Party was setting shit off over here, everybody wanted to get to know these young revolutionaries. Huey P. Newton was in China. Huey P. Newton was in the Soviet Union. Huey P. Newton was brought to Cuba. Asada Shakur, God rest her soul, who just transitioned in Cuba because Cuba said, we gonna protect and defend you till the end. Fuck what you heard. Ain't nobody selling you out. Even when Obama, it was Obama's administration that put $1 million bounty on her head. Even when they had the bounty on her head, they was like, look, we poor out here, but ain't nobody selling out of stock. Why? Just a half a second ago, the 1960s, when Black people in America were condemning apartheid South Africa, these global relationships among people of color and white revolutionaries around the world, all seeing that what was popping off here in the United States had the potential to change our lives forever. Black people were gaining and garnering the respect of the whole world. Black Americans that everybody conveniently hates now. Black Americans, even Black folks, Black skinned folks, Black as us, Blacker than us, come over here. Hey, Black folks in America, just a few years later. Why y'all think that is? How did that come to be? Huh? is because of the city I live in. That's how it came to be. A concerted, orchestrated effort to globally suppress the image of those who dare to wage a contest against power. And so I'm trying to tell you, I'm telling you something because I've struggled with this. It's had me up in here subdued. I understand how it may seem. But I believe, no, I don't believe. I am a million times certain of why I am here. Not only why I am here, why we are here. I'm trying to tell you, I know, because I left the meeting after Key said what he said at Old People Lunch, and I went to the ethics meeting. I went to a book study. That same book study I be telling y'all about at the Manly P. Hall Center. There's like 35 people in there. I haven't been in a couple of weeks, but as soon as I opened my lips to contribute to the conversation, I could hear the huffing of breath, the fucked up facial expressions, the shifting in the seat. Listen, y'all. I could just see the disdain. Plus, I'm the only black motherfucker in there. Most times, you might have a mixed race black person every now and again, but I'm always the only black, nappy-headed somebody up in this book club. And there was a point, so we are still reading about like Nordic tradition, right? Let me just tell y'all something. If you cannot see, we will not win. So here we are talking about this. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let me pull the document out that we were reading tonight and see if you can rock with me. Because at one point, this woman who cannot be my child's age, who cannot be my oldest child, my birth daughter's age, arrogant, audacious, nasty human. Ooh, okay. So we're let me see where we was, because they talking about, Odin, Allfather. Walk with me, okay? I'm not all in diatribe. I'm trying to walk you into a conclusion. They talking about Odin, Godfather, right? And let me start here. Because let me start here. Several things I want to point out. So he says here, in his discussion of the Nordic mysteries, Reverend McCoy seems to have been strongly influenced by the Elise. Oh my God. Let me tell y'all something. If you cannot see, you will forever miss what is right in your face, what is right in. Let me tell you what just happened in this moment as I'm rereading this to y'all. And it didn't even occur to me at the meeting. Before I went to the meeting, I was like, you know what? Let me go get myself a beverage. Feel me? Let me go get myself a cocktail of sorts before I go to what I knew was going to be this low-level hostile environment. Oh, damn, the black bitch came. You feel me? That's how it was. And it wasn't even subtle. It was obvious. The black bitch came, right? But how you in the Manly P. Hall Center and you are not even open to like an interpretation of what I was still talking about this. I was like, but this ain't, it could be, but we're talking about it like it's literal. This is not literal. This is anthropomorphization. This is personification. This is metaphor. What is it metaphor for? Right? That's all I said. But let me just tell you the moment that I just had. I was just sitting here saying, in the discussion of the Nordic mysteries, Reverend McCoy seems to have been strongly influenced by the Eleusinian rites of Greece. Let me tell you why I'm having this moment. Because she be showing out. But we refuse to see the majesty in the mundane. the miracles in the minute. We cannot see the symbols in the small. We can't. As a confirmation, as a yes, right on, she saw it. This didn't even occur. I went to the store before I went to the meeting, got my little beverage, you feel me? And I was like, that's crazy. Let me get this since I'm going, this beer that I'm about to show y'all. Let me get this beer. Since I'm going to the Philosophical Research Society, you feel me? And show this to everybody else before I drink it. You want to see what I got right before we came to read this shit right here? A beer that's called Elysian. What I just read to you right here, Elysian. Look at who is on the front of this beer. Goddamn Aleister Crowley, who I have been going off about for what, the last 3-4 lives that I did. Haven't I been going off on Aleister Crowley for about the last 3-4 lives that I did with y'all? I said, look at this beer right here, Elysian, and Aleister Crowley holding a brain imp. Do you see this shit right here? I was like, oh, this is crazy. Let me take this so I can show it to the people at the Philosophical Research Society. You feel me? And then we come up in here and in his discussion of the Nordic mysteries, Reverend McCoy seems to have been strongly influenced by the Elysian rites of Greece. But could you see that? Would it have occurred to you? Huh? Would it have occurred to anyone to take pause that she is always trying to communicate something to us? I don't care who the us is, because some of y'all have this way that you think that the only people that the goddess communicates to is like melanated people, or the only people that the goddess communicate to is girls, or the only people. No, baby, that's why everybody going crazy out this bitch, because she kicking everybody in the heart chakra. She kicking everybody in the root chakra. She kicking everybody in the goddamn crown chakra. Some people have enough information and language and frame of reference to say, okay, this is just the mother handing me my ass so I can unburden myself to be ready for this next stage. Some people have enough information to recognize that this is the challenge of the moment, is to like persevere through the madness, is to be able to clearly see. Is to be able to clearly see while in the midst of the storm, not to be caught up in the storm, but to be in the eye, the still eye of the storm that allows you to see all of this shit that is being propagated into your skull for the shit that it is. And that ain't got nothing to do with you, because you right up in the eye where it's clear, where you get a clear sense of what it is you are experiencing in the moment. You feel what I'm saying? Some people out here are caught up in the winds, baby. Caught up in the winds. And it's showing. It's showing. So people who do not have the language, people who don't know nothing, people who are good old Southern Baptists or good old Pentecostals and don't have any frame of reference other than that which has been imposed on them since childhood, are having their asses handed to them. And without a frame of reference, without a language to help them to understand the madness, the chaos, they will come to every conclusion but the right one. Me, myself, I'm up on the back of the horse, and I have taken with my closed fist and wrapped several times the ropes that direct power. Others, they got them ropes tied around their ankles, tossed behind the horse, kicking and screaming the goddamn inevitable. The future is inevitable, and it is ours. It is a declaration that we must make. It is not an appeal that we must win. So that shit that happened, I'm not going to go into this whole thing, but there were some really revealing moments in it for me. Some really, let me read you a poem from it. The 3 major things that stood out for me. Let's see. It says, Elder Edda supports the belief that in a deity superior to Odin, that there is a deity superior to Odin. 2 excerpts appear together. The first obviously refers to Odin, but the second mentions a divine being who must remain unnamed. That didn't give pause to nobody. 35 people in this goddamn book study, and it didn't give pause to nobody. To me, I was sitting here like, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation. Huh? It goes on to say, the divine being who must remain unnamed. Quote, then one is born greater than all. He becomes strong with the strengths of earth, the mightiest king, men will call him, fast knit in peace with all powers. Then comes another, yet even more mighty, but him dare I venture never to name. Few further may look than to where Odin to meet the wolf goes. What's that mean to y'all? Did anybody, like, my whole body is buzzing. What did that mean to y'all? What did y'all get from this little poem passage that I just read? Why the divine being who must remain unnamed? Why that Odin, comes, he is born greater than them all, but guess what? Then comes another, yet even more mighty, but him dare I not venture to name. Who is the him, child? Who is the him? Somebody surprise me. Who is the him that I dare not venture to name? Me, the great Odin, all father. Who, if I am the great all father, who would I fear? Who would I fear enough to not speak their name? And when I tell you, we read through it like it wasn't even a breakthrough moment. Like it wasn't even a breakthrough moment. Is nobody gonna venture a guess about he who must not be named? Because a girl in the meeting was like, is this something like Voldemort? Why do they say that? Why did they be talking about why he should not be named? Are y'all even listening? Is anybody even talking to me? That wasn't a rhetorical question. Somebody tell me who you think the divine being who must remain unnamed is. Come on, y'all. Be up in here with me. Be up in here with me, because I just left a whole ass meeting full of motherfuckers who was taking this shit literal. Literally puzzling back and forth. Well, were they talking about Odin like this, or was he real? Wait a minute. What? Are we still having this kind of conversation? This stage in the game. Man, this TikTok mess is annoying. Where in it, you got to fit the puzzle pieces together before you can continue your audio. Trifling. Crazy. Yeah. Don't guess. Say it with your chest. Goddess essence, energy. The mother. Yes, 10,000% all the time. All the time. Not only all the time. If you want to talk about Harry Potter as archetypes of the same old story, why through 3 movies must Voldemort remain unnamed? He tell you in your face why he must remain unnamed. We learned it when we were reading in the Women's Dictionary of Symbols and Sacred Objects that naming is the oldest ritual on earth. That naming, we learned it in the Bible. What is the story about how Solomon built the temple in the first place? Was that he used the demons. God gave him a ring of power to give him the power to control the demons. But in order to control the demons, he had to what? He had to know the name of each demon to control that demon's power. What was that demon's power? Every single one of them were over the elements. We're over the elements. You understand what I'm telling you? Naming is the oldest ceremony after birth. Naming. What did she tell you? What did she tell us in the same book? That the first thing that patriarchy attempted to do was to possess the power to name. That they envied more than anything a mother's ability to speak her child's destiny over her head or his head, to speak that baby's destiny over their life by naming. As soon as the baby latched on to the breast over the heart, she would speak the baby's name. While the baby was still attached by the umbilical cord, she would breathe the baby's destiny into their head. And that the patriarchs of old envied the power to name more than anything. So if you're trying to suppress the goddess, if you're trying to make the entire globe forget the presence of the goddess, then of course she would be the divine being who must remain unnamed. Because for us to name her, for us to speak her name, is to embolden her, is to resurrect her. It is to give her power that was hers in the first place. But all they got to do is confuse you by putting a him near instead of a her. This shit didn't give anybody in the room pause. You understand? That was one thing. Then it goes on to say, R.B. Anderson is reminded by the above passage that the elder Edda of the verses in the 17th chapter of Acts, also called the Acts of the Apostles, which records the words of St. Paul as he stood in the Arabicus, the highest council of ancient Athens. Quote, ye men of Athens, this is supposedly Paul, okay? Ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things religious, you are uncommonly scrupulous. This is what Paul said. Y'all scrupulous. For as I passed by and beheld the objects of your devotions, I found among other things an altar bearing this inscription, quote, to the unknown God, whom therefore ye ignorantly worship, but do not know, him declare I unto you. Okay? There it is again, this whole concept of the unknown God. This caused controversy at the reading tonight, right? Then Mabel Charles, where summarizes this impossible search for the infinite. Ew. Okay, ew. The impossible search for the infinite, in a quote called The Light of Asia. Quote, Amantaya, measure not with words the immeasurable, nor sink a string of thoughts into the fathomless. Whom asks doth err, who answers who ask doth err, who answers errs, say not. This caused a controversy because this young girl, was like, this is so profound because I consider myself a Christian, even though I have been reading the Quran, right? Which is really beautiful, and both really talk about the unknowability of God. Have we heard this before? Have we talked about this before? The unknowability of God. And so in order to know God, one must suffer. One must suffer. That's the only way to, quote, know God, get a sense of God, is to suffer. You understand? This shit here is saying this, is quoting this from the Hindu tradition. It goes on to say, because there's one more thing I want to read. There's so much here. It talks about how Odin too. Remember we went in the whole diatribe about how in the original text, the original Greek text, the mythological text about what's his name, Zeus, and how the only thing that Zeus could not control and actually had to adhere to was the fates. That even the gods answered to the fates. Remember that? How even that it said in the original text that Zeus feared the Fates. Remember I said that in the original Greek text about Zeus and the Fates? And then last year, November last year, they released that bullshit, the show Chaos with a K, and Jeff Goldblum plays Zeus. Excuse me. Jeff Goldblum plays Zeus in this series that's supposedly a modern adaptation of Greek mythology. And in the very last episode, I don't even know if they're doing the second season, but in the very last episode of the very first season, the last thing you see is because Zeus, supposedly, according to Greek mythology, was terrified of the Fates because that was the one power he did not have. It was the one power that he did not have, and he was also beholden to. Was fate, was time, was judgment, was punishment. He feared them. And do you know that the very last thing that you see in the very last episode of the first season is Zeus saying, bump it, and goes to the abode of the Fates and murders them. But the thing that's so incredible about the scene is when he gets there, they're like, bitch, we already know what you scheming on. We see you. You feel me? We see you. We know why you here. We know what you plotting and scheming on. Do we need to help you? Child, that last scene where Zeus, contrary to the original writings of Greek mythology, Zeus, fearing his inevitable end, which he can see. He can see his end is near. Zeus, Odin Allfather, whatever name you want to give him at any particular time. He can see that his end is near, and he starts wiling out to prevent the inevitable. So what does he do? He does what he has always been told is impossible for him to do. It is to kill the Fates. It is to murder the Fates. And so when he came with his little chest out, like, I don't care what nobody say. I'm going to get these bitches. It was like, you need help? You taking a little long. We already know why you here, nigga. We already know why you here. We know, we see you. So do you need some help? Do we need to douse our own selves with gas? Like, do you need, it's literally like that. They like, we see you. We already know what you plotting and scheming on. And so he kills the Fates. He kills the Fates. He kills their body. He kills the Fates. But as he's walking away from this burning building that was their abode, he hear them talking. And that's how the shit go off. And so I'm reading this here. And let me read you the last thing. Look, it's only a 2-hour meeting. Look at all these damn notes. Can y'all see all my notes in the periphery? See that? See all them notes scribbled all over the place? And so there was a moment in it where they opened the floor for discussion. You feel me? And I wait a little bit, and then I raise my hand. I can feel the energy in the room shift as soon as I raise my hand. It's like that, y'all. Internalized white nationalism, internalized racism is gross and it's palpable. And these people will swear they're the smartest, slickest, slyest people in the room. And it's like, baby, you don't have a resting bitch face. You are as see-through as a pane of glass. I see y'all. So anyway, I said, we're still talking about this literally. I said, but when they talk about traveling to multiple, because there's even a thing in here that says that Odin is finite. As a matter of fact, where they say that at? They say it's been a long time that he's been trying to stay the inevitable. Hold on, where is that at? Odin's power over the creatures inhabiting Midgard, or the middle abode. Man, come on. Or the middle abode, or Midgard, or the middle abode, was complete. They obeyed him and perished with him. Those were the days of the elves and the giants, of the dragons and the serpents, and the souls of heroes who died in battle. But until the final Ragnarok, which is like Armageddon, until the final Ragnarok, what battles were there? There were no armies and no mortal. Are y'all hearing this? And the fact that it gave nobody pause, but I can't say nothing because every time I open my mouth, y'all huffing and puffing and shit because y'all refuse to hear God come from the mouth of a black woman. I'm like, is nobody reading? Is nobody internalizing what has been read in this moment? It says, but until the final Ragnarok, what battles were there? There were no armies. There were no mortal enemies. So what was the battle? Because Ragnarok is, quote, the way they tell it, the equivalent of the great war in heaven that y'all was talking about in the Bible. It's a war of the gods. It's a war in heaven. So if there were no armies and no mortal enemies, what was the battle? Who was engaged in the battle? What was the battle about? That shit right there didn't give anybody pause. I said, why y'all here? Are y'all here to just read word for word what Manly P. Hall wrote? Or are y'all here to do exactly what he did, was to find all this information and deepen it? Deepen it, go deeper than what is just on the goddamn paper. Understand how it's useful. How does it apply to the modern age? Who can we look to in the world that is presenting like Odin, or presenting like Constantine, or presenting like Emperor Nero, or presenting like any other man in human history who was born from a woman's goddamn vagina and then said he becomes greater than his mother and then declares that he is God incarnate once he becomes this king, this emperor, this Caesar, this whoever the hell. Who has not done that? You can, all over the globe, there has been some man who has declared that at this moment, I am greater than my mother. I am God incarnate. I am God in the flesh and shit. Do you understand what I'm saying? I said, is this just a story that we supposed to just read word for word and talk about just word for word? Or are y'all really trying to change the goddamn world? Like, what y'all up in here for? They literally got offended. Literally got offended. The little Greek girl that's always got some slick ass shit out her mouth to say, but I'm not really talking about anybody in particular. But yes, you are. Yes, you are. I had to check her tonight, as a matter of fact. So anyway, Ragnarok. What is the war in heaven? What's the war in heaven? What's the war in heaven? Y'all are gonna get this. Y'all are gonna get this. Now, come hell or high water, y'all ain't gonna be out in the world saying, I didn't know. Nobody told me. Y'all gonna get this. Somebody told you. On this night, somebody told you. There is no way out but in. There is no way out but in. There is no way out but in. Heaven is nowhere. Heaven is the air you're breathing right now. Heaven is your head. And if in the story about what's it called? What in the hell? Asgard is like where Odin and Thor and Loki and all them live, right? It's like heaven, right? Asgard, right? Earth is supposed to be Midgard. Do y'all hear this all the time? Midgard, the Middle Kingdom, Middle Earth. Why they say that in all these movies, all these fantasy movies? It's everywhere. Lord of the Rings. What's that other thing? Harry Potter. What's that other thing? What's the other one? Middle Earth, the Middle Kingdom. What is Middle Earth, man? What is Middle Kingdom? What's Midgard? Because if you know how supposedly Odin and them be traveling back and forth to Earth, on the Rainbow Bridge. You feel me? They do the little thing at the Rainbow Bridge, and that's how they travel between realms, right? And come on, this shit is in your face. What's the Rainbow Bridge? What's the rainbow? What has the Rainbow Bridge always been in every culture, in every society? Whether it's the Rainbow Serpent, whether it's the Rainbow Bridge, whether it's the rainbow itself with the gold at the end. What is the rainbow? Anybody want to venture a guess? What's the rainbow? What's the rainbow? Hmm? Anybody want to venture a guess? What are the serpents? The Kundalini serpents. The two serpents that go up the thing. You feel me? This thing. What's the two serpents in the caduceus, the medical symbol? What's the serpents? Somebody answer me that. What's the serpents? Who they is? What they do? Who they is? Hmm? The serpents have always been, will always be the double helix, the DNA, that which makes you you. The serpents are always the DNA. It is the ancient primordial code that exists in every last one of your cells. The serpent is always the DNA. I don't give a damn where the serpent emerges, whether the serpent is sleeping coiled at the base of your spine, or whether the serpent is the seven-headed naga of Hindu tradition. The serpent is, has always been, will remain the mitochondrial DNA. Okay? And if you can accept that, then what is the rainbow bridge? The rainbow bridge is the multicolored chakras that line the spine, connecting each quote chakra in its through the vertebral bodies of the spine, the branches of the spinal column that branch out to give life to give information to each one of the organs that those chakras, energy centers, whatever, right? Them branch nerves that stem out from each one of those vertebral bodies, governing a very specific biochemical, electric, mechanistic behavior of all of the organs and muscles attached to them nerves. And if that's the case, how is the biochemical, electrical, and mechanical information channeled through the spinal column out these nerves that attach to every organ system? How is that information conducted? Through the very serpentine, perpetual movement of the cerebral spinal fluid. It's all, that's why people be talking about, we're gonna ascend, we're gonna ascend, we're gonna ascend. You know, you gotta raise the Kundalini. You gotta raise the Kundalini. Stop doing that, man. Goddamn. Stop doing that. The cerebral spinal fluid that literally moves in the same undulations of a serpent, the kind of muscular undulation, right? The movements that we call undulation, if you've ever taken dance classes, where you move in a serpentine fashion, right? The undulation of the movement, the flow of the cerebral spinal fluid is not one directional. Guess what? The serpent is not always ascending, bitch. Sometimes the serpent is going down. Actually, it's happening all the time. Up and down. Up and down. And if there are no blockages, like if there are no vertebral kinks, you feel me? There are stories in chiropractics about people having diminished the significance of manual manipulation of the spinal bones and of the cranial bones, that because osteopaths were doing such radical work at the turn of the century, curing disease with manual manipulations. You feel me? Curing diseases. When I say diseases, I mean misdiagnoses based on an inability to recognize the singularity, man. The singularity. The singularity is not some AI shit, AI becoming conscious, none of that shit. The singularity is the harmonious reunification of the one, within us, of the one within what had previously been a fractured us. Left brain from left brain versus right brain, conscious mind versus subconscious mind, spirit versus flesh, emotions versus the psyche, whatever, these multiplicities of ways that we have been fractured and dissected in shit. You feel me? And the singularity is that moment where it all becomes one. That's the singularity. You understand? And that singularity can only occur if you stop believing that spirit exists somewhere outside of your very real flesh that is just as much a part of the body of God as your spirit is. You can't bypass your flesh, baby. Not only can you not bypass your flesh, when you attempt to do so, you diminish the significance of who God is. And the only person that you know as God, as defined philosophically and spiritually, God as defined by all these different traditions say the same thing about God, right? Say the same thing about God. And you will look everywhere to find God, but your actual mama who shaped you and molded you with her own blood and water in her own body, giving birth to you so that you as a primordial entity see light for the first time in a material existence, feeds you magically from her own body, that her own milk from her own body will change and morph to address any illnesses that you have, any perceived fucking nutritional deficiencies you may have. Her milk will change to support and nourish where deficiencies occur, where illnesses occur. This is magic. This is literal goddamn magic. And every story that you've read about every so-called male deity as the creator deity, as the profound primordial creator of all there is, and he literally steals every last one of the stories that you know are associated with your mother. Your mama is the basis for every mythology written about some primordial he got. Your mama is. Your mother is the basis for every religion on earth. Not some metaphorical goddess off in the goddamn distance somewhere. Because even as a goddess-centered, goddess-worshiping temple that we are, I recognize that Jacqueline Jeanette Cook is God. My mama is God. And I can say that because she birthed a whole universe. Who did she birth as a whole universe? Me. Who did she birth as a whole universe? My sister. Who did she birth as a whole universe? My granddaughter. My daughter. My grandson. That without my mama as God in the material world, my daughter would not exist. I would not exist. My sister would not exist. My grandchildren would not exist. My grandchildren would not exist. Not only would they not exist, that at the moment that my mother gave birth to me, she was permanently changed. Not only was she permanently changed, every single one that came before her was changed in the moment that my mother gave birth to me. In the moment that my mother gave birth to me, she became mother. She went from maiden to mother. Her mama was changed the instant she gave birth to me. My mama. Not only was my mama changed and her mama changed the moment that my mother gave birth to me. Guess what? The moment my mother gave birth to me, even people that she was not related to by blood, their whole line was changed because of me. Their whole line. My grandmother, my father's mom, was forever changed by my birth. Her mother was changed. Her mother was changed. Their fathers were changed. The entire line is changed. This is the work of God that we're talking about. And so when y'all be trying to take these philosophies, these mythologies that are there to teach us about the ever-presence of God in the flesh, in the material world, God exists here on earth. Every last one of these philosophies, none are exempt. Not one is exempt. But y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all are so dogmatically committed to holding on to a myth that is responsible for your oppression. The reason that there is oppression on earth is because you hate God. You cannot fathom the idea of God being your mother, being female, being a primordial she that gave birth to all that we can even comprehend. Every star, every quasar, every goddamn thing. Is because right now, why you sitting here? You are alive in a vast primordial womb right now. So when we say in the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence that mommy and I are one, I mean that shit literally. I mean it ever presently. I mean it as far as we can comprehend in the universe to the very singular atoms in our own body. I mean that. And so y'all be trying to y'all still looking for a hero, motherfuckers. That's what's wrong. Y'all still looking for a savior. Y'all still looking for a hero. Y'all still looking for some mythological penis possessing human being to come and save the day. After all this time, you still looking for a mythological penis possessing somebody to be the great self-sacrificing martyr. And it ain't coming, man. It's not coming. The great self-sacrificing deity for which every male patriarchal, quote, hero is fashioned after is still your mama. What is the self-sacrificing that meant in a lot of times meant a decision to say yes to another human? For the greater portion of the human epoch, to say yes to another human meant a literal 50-50 gamble on whether you would live or you would die. To be female and to recognize the quickening, the moment that, like, okay, yep, I'm actually pregnant. I'm not just stressed out and my period didn't come on. Nope, I'm actually pregnant. To get the confirmation at the quickening that you actually carry life, and the quickening being the moment, at least in the primordial age, that tells a woman, okay, this is the moment that you have to make the decision. Are you going to allow me to live in you, or are you going to say no to my life? And then if she say, nope, I'm not in a position to be having no babies right now, let me find these little herbs, let me talk to the this and take the herbs and be done. That is the decision. But at the moment that she makes the decision that yes, I'm going to allow this this entity to come through me, she's also making a decision about her own mortality, recognizing that I am either going to die in this process or I am going to live in this process. Understand what I'm saying? So the quote, in all of these traditions, the deity who comes and sacrifices himself for the greater good, that martyr ass bullshit, is a theft and a perversion of your mother's suffering, her willing self-sacrifice, her actual lived in her flesh self-sacrifice every time she says yes to an entity petitioning her to allow it to have a material experience that can only come through her body. Stop playing, man. Stop playing. This shit is annoying. To go into a room of so-called philosophical deep thinkers, and I say, well, look, I mean, most traditions now, most of us accept, that the rainbow bridge or anything to do with the rainbow is a metaphor for the chakras, and the chakras are along the spine. They ain't here, they on the spine. So if you can concede that the rainbow bridge is a metaphor for the spine, then can you concede that if the rainbow bridge is a metaphor for the spine, that what is Odin is a representation of being in heaven, or Asgard? What is Loki as the trickster who has one foot in the evil world, right? The evil world, the underworld. Because who was Loki? He didn't know it, but he was the son, the stolen, kidnapped, child trafficked son of the frost giants, wasn't he? That they had to camouflage Loki his whole life so he wouldn't look like his true self, his real self. Y'all remember that? So Loki is the trickster because he has one foot in Asgard and one foot in the nether region, in the lower realm. Why do they be telling women that your vagina is the gates of hell? They mean that literally. God damn it. I know I'm going off. There's so much I want to talk to you about, but I'm telling you, even as we're witnessing what's happening in the world, if we do not reconcile the ideas in our head, man, if we don't reconcile the ideas in our head that continue to betray us because we have a goddamn all father living in our goddamn brain, an all father polluting and corrupting every thought in our brain. So what we see ain't actually what we see, or when we see some shit, we see some shit that they have directed us to see. I don't know. I don't know. But when they were talking about, well, what was the war in heaven? What was the war in heaven? You are in the war in heaven right now. You all, whether you are conscious of it or not, whether you have the language to express it or not, the war in heaven, whether you talking from the Christian perspective or the Muslim perspective or the Ifa perspective or whatever. The war in heaven is what we are all experiencing. Each one of us a universe of its own. Each one of us a universal microcosmic replica of the great primordial universe. We all are the universe. We all are individual expressions of the universe. Each one of us having been born in the material world as universe from our very real gods on earth, flawed as they are, messed up as they are, inability to love as they may have been, they too are the victims of this thing, this break, this split in our collective consciousness. And until we reconcile that, I promise you, there is no conclusion that you will come to that will benefit you. Every conclusion that you come to, every answer that you think that you have found to solve the political problems of the world is going to be wrong. It's going to be wrong. That's why y'all still believe in socialism, goddammit. Because you cannot conceive of the idea of the re-emergence of the divine primordial she. And the only way that is going to occur is for you to emerge victorious over your own skull. That's the only way. That's the only way. That's the only way. So much in this reading tonight. Listen, the story is moved gradually from one region in the far north to the inner regions of the mystical experience, meditation, and esoteric teaching. In the Nordic story, all depends upon the resurrection of Balder. By this circumstance alone can the labors of y'all got damn. When I tell you that this shit becomes so obvious, so clear. This thing right here say, let me see it. Hey, by this circumstance alone can the labors of eternity bear their perfect fruits in the world of time. What does that mean? Because I'm telling you, every secret, every mystery, every secret society, the Illuminati, the Illuminati, the Freemasons, the this and this and the Moore Science Temple, and all of these hidden mystery schools of science and shit, every single one was erected to keep you from yourself. Every single one. Every single one. That's why she here wrecking every damn thing. That's why she here revealing every damn thing. That's why she here pulling the covers off of every motherfucking thing. Is because she is saying secrets cannot remain if you are to evolve. We got to shine the light on all the secrets. We got to make known. We got to reveal all the mysteries so that each and every single solitary one of you on earth can emerge victorious. All of you have the capacity just by the perfect process of being born. The first ritual. Each and every one of you have the capacity to become your God self in real time. This is what will end global suffering. This is what will end global fucking unending warfare. This alone. It is the springing forth of God consciousness in a very embodied self. In your flesh, bitch. In your cells. In your chemistry. In your blood. In your bones. The goddess emerging. This is the only way. This is the only way. There ain't enough strategies and logical, stoic fucking thinking that is going to change a goddamn thing for anybody on earth. At the same time, the contradictions abound, and it makes us sick. It makes us sick. The contradictions, the confusion, the plethora of bullshit being pumped in your skull every day, man. On the one hand, we're talking about xenophobia. We're talking about Islamophobia is what we're looking at. I watched, I don't know how many videos today on the global population crisis. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. And everything is the explanation and the excuse for the global population crisis. And none of these places, not females, not males, not deep thinkers, not philosophers, not fucking spiritualists, nobody can come to the right conclusion. That's in everybody's face. Why is the freaking population taking a no? Why is the birth rate taking a straight up nosedive in every single continent on earth? Because you all hate women. You all hate women. And the hatred is so palpable at this moment, whether consciously or unconsciously, every female on earth is like, fuck this. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to be the martyr. I'm not going to be the self-sacrificial savior for a world that hates me. I'm not going to do it. Is this a recent hatred? Hell no. Sitting here watching all these damn documentaries. I want everyone within the sound of my voice, male, female, all the genders in between, black, white, all the races in between, poor, rich, all the classes in between. I want you to hear me loud and clear that until you can see God personified in the face of your female compatriots everywhere on earth, we will be doomed. There is no way around it. There is no way to avoid it. It is at the center of everything that we call a problem on earth. There's not a problem that exists on earth that does not have females at the center, their children at the center. Every problem. I do not care. I meant it 3 years ago. I mean it today. Any so-called world leader, any so-called revolutionary, any so-called socialist, Marxist, Leninist, whatever the fuck, I don't want to, first of all, two things. I don't want to hear nothing come out of the mouth of a male that is not preceded with, according to the honorable goddess as my mentor, teacher, so and so and so and so. According to the honorable most high sister so and so who gave me these ideas. According to my mama who saw fit to give life to me and breathe life into me, because this is the only personification that I could have, and it only came through her. I want to say thank God, known as my mama name, for saying yes to my life when she could have said no. If you are a male in any field, in any area of understanding that you claim, if you open your mouth and it is not preceded by paying homage to the mother in some fashion or personification, I will not believe anything that comes out of your mouth past that. I won't. I will not. You ain't had no problem for 6,000 years exalting the name of some man like his ass ain't have a mama. Like the foundation for his genius wasn't his mama. Like the foundation for his genius was not the imposed suffering socially, economically, financially on his mama to self-sacrifice to ensure that he, as the God of his universe, had a steady footing to go out into the world and be great. Your mama. Your mama. So I'm telling you, that's one thing. I don't want to hear, I'm telling you, man, because people have been sending me all kind of shit this week too. Ooh. People have been saying, why do y'all do that? Because I've been talking to y'all about this for a long time. Please don't send me shit with men talking. I'm telling you, don't send me nothing with no man talking. This brother sent me a video last year. See some of these brothers out here doing the hard work, doing the real work. And the video he sent me, I wanted to pull a Java Watson out this bitch. The fuck he sent me this shit for? He been following my channel for 3 years. Don't he know me better than this? Send me no bullshit. That's my baseline. That's my baseline standard for men in this moment. If you are a male and you have something to contribute, which I believe that you do, if you have something to contribute, y'all need to take a book from your own page. That for us to believe your sincerity, for us to believe that your ego is not leading you into this space, the first thing that you need to do when you open your mouth is I want to acknowledge God, known as my mama name. That's it. That's your starting point. Before I hear anything that you have to say after that, you better say, thank my mama I'm born. Thank my mama for giving me life. Thank my mama for giving. Thank God my mama said yes to my life when she could have easily said no. I'm telling you, man, I'm not being funny. Y'all killing me in these comment sections, but I'm deadly serious, man. There's a paradigm we have to change. There's a paradigm we have to create. What is our card in our what's her name? The medicine woman deck? What is she saying? I am the brave herald of new thought. I am the brave herald of new thought. This is each and every one of you. I am the brave herald of new thought, new ways of being, new ways of seeing the world. Huh? If I go to a place, wherever I go, if I do not see love in that place, I create it, I generate it, I bring it. Huh? If I do not see beauty, I speak beauty. Huh? What does he say in that card? She say, as the brave new herald, being able to see what others cannot. What does she say? Because the brave new herald card is which card? It's the sister who looked like Oshun, dressed in all gold, and she is mentoring a small white baby. Here she is, the primordial black ass Oshun, and she banking the future on this little white boy child holding the arrow, but the light at the end is so blinding they cannot see, but they are certain that they will hit their mark. Huh? Why are they certain they will hit their mark without being blinded by the light? Why are they certain as the brave heralds of new thought? Huh? Because she said, bitch, I'm the one. I have arrived at this moment for this reason and this reason alone. These are the skills. These are the ancestors that I needed to have. This is the bloodline that I needed to have in order to fulfill my peculiar role in the world that is bound to be. Do I one or two choices, according to Thomas Sankara of the great Burkina Faso, land of the upright citizen. He said we ain't got but two choices up on this bitch. It is to fulfill or betray our destiny. That's it. That's it. We ain't got but two choices: to fulfill our destiny or to betray it. To fulfill it or betray it. As the brave herald of new thought, that card says, where I do not see love, I speak love. Where I do not see beauty, I speak beauty. Because the only false thing on earth. Wait a minute, what did she say? The only anything less than wondrous is false. Anything less than wondrous is a lie. Do you understand what I'm saying? As the brave herald of new thought, where I do not see love, I bring it. Where I do not see justice, I bring it. Where I do not see beauty, I bring it. The children see this in me, and it gives them the ability to see what we cannot, to move beyond what we are capable of. That's why she's mentoring the little baby. She says, as the brave herald, I have come to this moment to change the laws. That's what the book say. I have come to change the laws, to change the customs, to change the traditions that oppress. God damn it, stop holding on to dead ass shit. Well, according to the way they did it 2,000 years ago, you're doing it wrong. Aquarius, the age of Aquarius that y'all talk about so much. Aquarius was a gangster, bitch. Aquarius was a gangster. Aquarius not only was a gangster, Aquarius was a gangster who always fought on behalf of the suffering because he too had been oppressed. Aquarius, Ganymede, he too was oppressed. That's why he fought so vigilantly, so violently, so courageous, so emboldened, is because his ass was the victim of child human trafficking. Y'all think I'm making this up? Read your mythology. They tell you in your face what their intentions are for you. Who are the Olympians if they are none other than motherfucking finite, human-esque beings who have propped themselves up under illusion and mysteries and secrets to be more than you, to be greater than you, meanwhile bleeding you dry of your own essence that feeds them, that feeds what you perceive as their immortality. You perceive that is their immortality. Let me tell you something. You got to go back and watch Chaos because they tell on themselves. Zeus is freaking out, just like this story here. They say that Odin was tripping because from the moment of his birth, he knew that his end was inevitable. This is God. This is Odin, the All-Father. This is Odin, the quote, great primordial All-Father. And this shit right here says, but didn't nobody want to hear it. Didn't nobody want to internalize what this meant. That Odin, the All-Father, you feel me, knew from the moment he was born that his end was inevitable. That's what it say. Hold on. Where did it say that at? Oh, wait. By this circumstance alone, can the labors of what are the labors of eternity? What is, somebody tell me what, somebody surprise me, somebody shock me, and tell me what the labors of eternity are. Come on now. Y'all been on here following me for a long. What are the labors of eternity? See, don't have me have an attitude up here. Somebody tell me what the labors of eternity are. Look at. And then I'm gonna stop yelling at y'all. Where's that? Oh, Here it is. For the labors of eternity, y'all. Child, this is the labors. You see this double-edged X right here? That's the labor. What's the labors? That's the labors. What do the labors represent? What do these labors represent? What do these labors represent? Anybody remember what the labors represent? Why the labors even look like that? Anybody remember what the labors is about? Before Shango, baby. Before Shango. Yes, we always think about Shango with the labors, but Shango is Aquarius. In Ifa tradition, Shango is Aquarius. And in Ifa tradition and Greek mythology, Shango is androgynous. The beautiful he. The one who men respect and want to be like and the women love. He is androgynous, Shango. He who wears the skirt of the dance, Shango. Aquarius is androgynous. Why? Why did the males steal the labors? Because what we learned in the Great Cosmic Mother was that for thousands of years, the labors, the double-edged axe, was not a weapon. It was only used in ceremony to the divine cosmic mother throughout the known world at the time. You understand? And the labors was a ceremonial representation. See how I turned that? The labors were a ceremonial representation of the open vagina and the lips, and the open vagina of the great primordial mother. So when this shit right here, but see, we have to remember these things, or else we will miss the metaphors that's all up in this shit, revealing the mother everywhere. It says, by this circumstance, can the labors of eternity. Why are these the labors of eternity? Because, bitch, that's how we continue to exist as humans. It's how we continue to exist as a species, is through the open goddamn mouth of your mama's vagina. It's the only way. Is the open mouth of your mama's vagina. It says, by the circumstance alone, can the labors of eternity bear what? Bear their perfect fruit in the world of time. God, could that be any more actually literal? The perfect fruit of the world of time. What is the world of time? It's your material existence that has a beginning, that has a life, and that has an end. That is the world of time. It's only this. It's only time as we can conceive of it right here on this earth. Time, as we conceive of it, does not exist anywhere else in the universe. Nowhere else in the universe does time exist the way that we see and feel and internalize time. Nowhere else. So the world of time is our actual material experience that can only come through our perfect process of being born in this perfect process from our mother as a new entity with an actual physical experience. That's it. They literally say it right here. But if we're just here. This was the argument. We're just here to study this text written by Manly P. Hall, because this is the Manly P. Hall book club. And so I get it that we get excited about talking about other stuff, but we really need to keep to the text. That's what happened tonight. And I knew exactly who that bitch was talking to. Because you still think that this text is, first of all, literal. Second of all, you think that the ancestors that gave rise to these mythologies was stupid, primitive motherfuckers who really believe in a all-father, not that they created this in a very perfect relationship with a scientific understanding, a mythological understanding, an anthropomorphic understanding, and a very physical, real understanding of the universe and their place in the universe. not apart from the universe, within the universe. That's the other thing that we do, is we attempt to reduce the genius of our primordial ancestors, because somebody else done always told our ancestors, that told us that this is the peak of human civilization. Imagine, this is the peak of human civilization, and that what gave rise to every philosophy that we understand, these was primitives. These was the primitive people, you feel me? And we are the peak of human civilization. So, I just feel like sometimes we need to just really be conscious of keeping with the text. But you ain't even reading the text, bitch. You're reading at the text, but you are not even seeing what is written in black and white in front of your own face. It literally say several times throughout here, they are talking about the goddess. They aren't even hinting at it. They're talking about her and just putting heat in front of it. By this circumstance alone can the labors of eternity bear the perfect fruit in the world of time. This is talking about the singular activity that cannot be repeated by anyone other than the female species among most higher vertebrate animals, from the serpent up. Several interpreters, including Richard Wagner, had intuitively recognized the true key to the solemn drama of the Eddas. Odin's kingdom consists of those initiated into his rites who have taken the obligation to bring forth the new heaven and the new earth. What's the new heaven and the new earth? What's Ragnarok? What's the god of Dumarang? What's the today's term? What's the Armageddon? What's that other shit? The apocalypse. What's the Revelations? It's all the same thing. It is trying to teach you that the moment when the sun's rebellious and destructive, ego-led, as a matter of fact, what else can we say about Shango? Aquarius. Shango. Ooh, fuck. Let me just say. You know how when you be reading the tarot, you feel me? Let me see if I can find it. How you be reading the tarot? Where he at? Because this occurred to me today while I was in that freaking class, where people were, baby, they spirits was literally harassed, irritated by God using her voice to attempt to raise their consciousness based on the discussion they facilitating. You say the floor is open. Why you got an attitude? That shit was so gross. Anyway, where he at? The Hierophant. Where is he at? He coming up. The Hierophant. The Lovers. Oh, here it is. So the Devil. The Tower. Hey, babe. The Tower. The Star. Yes. The Star is Aquarius. The Star card in the tarot is Aquarius. Right? Hold on. There's one more I'm looking for. The Star card. And the Hanged Man is the one I'm looking for. Because I had a breakthrough even while we was there, because there was a part of the reading that was talking about like the hanged man who hangs from the world tree, right? Boy, don't you even start. Big ol' he self. World. What is that? But the reason I had this breakthrough tonight between the Star card, which was pulled tonight, and the Hanged Man, here it is. Look at this. Look at this physical adaptation of the Hanged One. They call it the Hanged One in this deck. Look at that. The Hanged One. He who hangs from the world tree. See that? That's what the Hanged Man is. It's he who hangs from the world tree, right? Look at his leg. Like this shit is in your face. Look at his leg. Look at what is above his leg. Look at his leg. Look at what's above his leg. It cannot be any more obvious. What is the world tree? What's the world tree? What is the... Let's see. What was the question that I asked y'all that somebody answered the E on me? Come here, boy. Come here, fatty. Come here, boy. Come here, boy. Come here, big old head, boy. Come here, boy. Come here, fat fatty. Come here. Man, come here. Come on. Boy, come here. Storm. Come here. Come on, boy. Come here. Come here. Let me grab him because he's doing the most. Hold on. Come here, boy. And then I got some things to show y'all. Come here, boy. Oh. Come here, big old head, baby. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, big old head self. Oh. Oh. Big old fat fatty. Big old fat fatty. As cute as can be. Big old fat fatty. He's as cute as can be. Big old fat fatty. As cute as can be. Big old fat fatty. He's as cute as can be. Look at him. A whole mess. Look at that. A whole mess. A whole mess. I'm talking about you. Big old fat squishy. Big old fat fatty. As cute as can be. Big old fat fatty. He's as cute as can be. A mess. The whole squishy mess. Yes, I'm talking to you, boy. You're so cute. Y'all see that? That's a whole mess. the most. His big old squishy ass self. Are you a big cutie? Is that big squishy? Boy. Okay. Anyway. New heaven, new earth. Where is new heaven and new earth? What is new heaven, new earth? That's you. You are the new heaven and the new earth. You are. Boy. You're doing the most. You're doing the most. You're doing the most. Boy. Oh man. Child, y'all see this showing out he doing? Look at that. Yeah, I'm talking about you because you're doing the most. What? Around nothing. Around. A mess. A whole mess. A whole mess. Yes. Talking to you, big head boy. Big head boy. Anyway, I could go off and off and off. So let me shift gears because I ain't gonna be on here much longer. I got shit to do. But the hanged one, child, right? Hanged man, the hanged one that I was just showing y'all on this card with the obvious DNA suspending him from the world tree. The world tree is your mama. It can't get no more plain and no more simple than that. As a matter of fact, to prove to you that anytime you, girl, Chad, go about your life. On about your life, because you're doing absolutely the most. Now, but every time you see the world tree, and I don't care what machination you see the world tree, I don't care what interpretation of the world tree that you are looking at, the world tree, because I've already told you, you're gonna have to accept it. You're gonna have to accept it that every religion, every religious story, every mythology about heaven and hell, every story, child, every single religious, spiritual, occultic story is about your actual mama on this actual earth. Every story. So the world tree, right? The hanged man who hangs from the world tree to quote, give him a new perspective. You literally looking at her vagina right there. Right there. The lotus is always, has always been, will forever be your mama vajayjay. Her hairy vajayjay. You understand? Forever. I don't give a fuck. Have somebody tell you something different. I do not care. D lotus is your mama vagina. You understand? The hanged man is the baby newly born. One perspective to another perspective. Quote, falling from heaven to earth. This is the new perspective. That is you. This new perspective from the dark, watery abyss to this open air, light field, new perspective. You as the hangman. This you. The world tree is literal, by the way. The world tree literally is your mama. Let me tell you why the world tree is literally your mama. When you, after we get up off this live right here, what you're going to do is you're going to go to Google. Feel me? And what you're going to, not, let me throw, not Google, some search engine of your choice. You're going to go to a search engine of your choice and you are going to search placenta, images of the placenta. That's what you're going to search. You're going to search images of the placenta. And what you are going to see is what the ancients always saw. So in African tradition, in most African traditions, in most pre-patriarchal African traditions, every time a woman had a child and she delivered her placenta, the placenta was buried at the base of the oldest tree in the community. So, and when you lay out a placenta, you feel me? The veins that fed into the placenta literally make the placenta look like a tree because the umbilical cord is attached and the veins spread out over the placenta, and the placenta literally looks like a tree. And so the ancients saw the placenta as a metaphor for connecting the ancestors to the newly born. This is the tree of connection. You feel me? This this iconography exists everywhere. The tree of life is not a metaphor, bitch. The tree of life is literally your mama because it is your mother that is the stargate portal between your ancestors and your newly personified self. It is she that bridges, that creates a bridge between you and your ancestors. She is the tree of life. She is her mother's child and her grandmother's child and her great great grandmother's child and her great 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 grandmother's child. You feel me? Your mama is. She is the descendant of a unbroken line all the way back to your first ancestral mama. So she is the only way, your mama is the only way that you can exist the way that you exist. And she holds in her body all the genetic material necessary for you to be the best among your entire line. Not only the descendant of, the best personification of the contributing attributes of all those in your ancestral line. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when we're looking at a quote family tree, right? And we none of us know our true names. You feel me? But when you're looking at a family tree and they always got your ancestors, up here in the leaves and shit. That's wrong. That's wrong. That is one of the proverbial flipping and perversions of this weird shit that we got to resolve. But that's wrong. When you're looking at your ancestor, your family tree and all the ancestors and all your aunties and uncles and all of this shit is up here in the sky in the leaves, that's upside down. Because especially those of those antecedents that came before you, they're not up in the sky, bitch. They in the roots. They in the earth. They in the earth. They literally buried in the ground. So why all your ancestors is up here? You feel me? No. Your ancestors make up the very grounded, rooted, deeply material foundation that provides the structure of the tree. You are the tree. Male, female, all the genders in between don't matter. You are the bridge between your ancestors and all of the endless possibilities represented by the top of the tree, by the canopy of the tree. The trunk of the tree is you right now, sturdy, strong, ever growing. You are the tree. Your ancestors are the roots of your tree. Your vision for your future is the canopy of the tree. All the possibilities, all the things seen and unseen. This is the canopy of the tree. This is all your future progeny. The canopy of the tree. You feel me? The tree of life, the world tree, the tree in the garden, in Eden. The tree is always your mama. 1,000% of the time, 1,000,000% of the time, any kind of philosophical, spiritual alluding to a tree, assume they talking about your mama uterus and the placenta that comes from it at the moment that your ass is born. That's what it's talking about. So if it's talking about that, then now you can see how the hanged man, where the hanged man's where his perspective, because they tell you that the hanged man is about seeing things from a different perspective. This is very literal. The hanged man who's hanging by his foot by his mama umbilical cords. You feel me? Or you can say this is his little DNA that's coming from heaven, because in Chinese medicine, your DNA is your quote pre-heaven essence. So once he leaves heaven, his mama's body is heaven, bitch. His mama's body is heaven. And then he is, quote, cast out of heaven, his mama's body. He is cast out of heaven and falls to earth. Isn't that the story about the war in heaven? He, which is all of us, the he, right, who rebels against God. Who is God? His mama. He who rebels against God in heaven. Where is heaven? In his mama's body. Heaven is in his mama's body. He who rebels against God, right? And in his rebellion is cast down to earth. Why? Because if he's born in the right way, his ass will be facing downward. His mama will be in the squatting position and his head will be going down. You feel me? And then there'll be a midwife or a doula to catch him before he hit the ground. You feel me? This is a new perspective, to go from dark and watery and can't see no faces and shit to bright, brilliant light and air that you can breathe and shit. This is the new perspective of the hanged man. Literally hanging on, falling out of heaven with an umbilical cord that still ties him to, still binds him to heaven. They tell you everything you need to know in your face and know that you will not see it. So they perpetually play in your face because they can tell you everything and you still will not see it because they've done such a good job at propaganda. It's true. Name a thing. And I'll tell you how it's your mama. Name a thing, and I will show you how it's your literal mama. Name a philosophy. Tell me a philosophy. Armageddon, a war in heaven, the four horsemen. There's a girl asked a question today. She was like, why in Greek mythology was people always having sex with animals? Why every time Zeus want to go aggress upon some female body, he would turn himself into an animal? Why not just disguise his face as another motherfucker? Why would he just not take another man's face? Why he always had to be a swan or a dove or an eagle or something? Did you know? I'm telling you, I didn't realize it, but did you know that one of the stories of Zeus going to aggress against some mortal woman's body, that he turned himself into golden showers? Did you hear me? That he turned himself into golden showers to rape this woman and impregnate her with his demigod seed. Did y'all hear what I just said? Y'all didn't hear what I just said. Zeus turned himself into golden showers. Is this the subjugative, submission, imposing story behind why all of these men have freaking urinary and defecatory fetishes, particularly aimed at what they perceive as the powerless females that are very young, fragile, weak, and that their default is that they want to shit and piss on them as some type of sexual act? It is literally the mirror image perversion of Greek mythology once males in their head come to accept that they are the personification of the most of the most high, of the most powerful, Zeus, and that they too can do what Zeus has done and will act it out without even knowing the origin of this fetish that they have accepted. Zeus turned himself into, quote, golden showers to rape and impregnate this woman. I said, oh, like when I tell you, there is, it's everywhere. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. But you have to see it, man. You have to remember the words. Because this little sentence that I read about the circumstance alone, can the labors of eternity bear their perfect fruit in the world of time? You'd be like, damn, that's some nice poetry. You'd be like, that's pretty. What that mean? What he said? What he just said? You will hear the word labors and think work. You will think drudgery and hard work. And so this is something as simple as this. Without the frame of reference, without the words, without the language to help us understand what is happening to us, you would read this sentence and be like, damn, that's real pretty. What they wrote, I don't really know what it means, but that sounds real pretty. And by the circumstance alone, can the labors of eternity bear their perfect fruit in the world of time? It says, Odin's kingdom consists of those initiated into his rights, who have taken the obligation to bring forth, the new heaven and the new earth. When that is accomplished, the old ways will disappear like the troubled shadows of a dream. Is this or is this not what I've been talking to y'all about? That the war in heaven is in your literal heaven, in your own personal skull, that is your own personal universe. And even here it says that Odin's only the initiated will be capable of bringing forth the new earth and the new heaven. And when that is accomplished, the only thing that can happen when you slay the archon in your skull, when you slay the adversary in your skull, huh? When you slay the adversary in your skull, what then is accomplished is the old ways will certainly disappear, like the troubled shadows of a dream. And that's why they playing in your face right now. That's why they playing in your face right now. Feel me? That's why they playing in your face right now. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But just know that we have a world to create. This is why I put my hat in the box. We have a world to create, and it is going to require seemingly insane action. It is going to take bold and radical action, ongoing. It is going to be doing things that until it becomes in your face, people are going to be like, why she did that? That's what the moment requires. And so that's why this. And I'm gonna tell you, so I've been working on a couple of things. I want to show y'all something. So I forgot I had all these frames, like a gang of frames. I was like, let me do something cool with these frames. You feel me? So I started just doing like little pseudo collage type of whatever, to sell at like marketplaces or whatever. But then after I assembled the picture and the frame, I was like, ooh, like maybe I can write something witchy along the side. So I'm about to show you. So this is the first one I did. This is from an old magazine that I found. I used to be a huge skateboard like enthusiast. I love skateboards, skate culture. I knew all of the big skateboard icons. I told y'all last summer I met Christian Hosoi and Steve Caballero in the same day. You feel me? Like, I loved skate culture. I loved it. Like early old school skate culture, skate rock, all of it. I loved it, right? And so I found this old magazine that I had with a picture of one of the big skate like logos of the period. Like I'm talking about like mid 80s. This was called the Screaming Hand. And I think it was the product of Powell and Peralta. So anyway, so I found the Screaming Hand. I was like, oh, though, can I sell it? It's so dope. And I love that I found the picture. I still haven't debated about whether I'm gonna sell it or whether I'm gonna keep it because I love it. But anyway, here you go. So, oh, that's like even seeing it on the screen, I'm like, oh, I gotta keep that shit. But anyway, this is it. So I just cut the hand out and put it against a different background. But this is what I did with the frame. So I've been experimenting a lot with writing backwards. So here, what you are seeing is, what does it say? Where did I start? Through her, I execute her. I execute her. Her enemies. Mommy and I are one. Through me, her will is done. Her will is done. Mommy and I are one. Through me, her will is done. Mommy and I are one, right? So you can see that I took a gold marker and wrote that backwards around the frame. This one's hard. I don't know if I'm gonna part with it. It's so fire. Ooh, so sexy. So fire. I love it. So that's one. Then this is an excerpt from the Emerald Tablet by Aleister Crowley. But so this is the excerpt from Aleister Crowley, and then I put another kind of native-esque background to that. And same thing through Me, her will is done. Mommy and I are one. So I did that. Yeah, you can see it there. Did that along the border. I got many, many more of these that I'm working on, but I really like this one. And I'm not going to sit here and read what it says because my eyelids get heavy. Then, what else? There was something else. There were so many something else's. I guess I'm gonna wrap that up then. There was so many something else's, but do not believe anything that you see in the news. I will say that. When I say do not believe anything that you see in the news. Do not believe anything that you see in the news. Nothing. 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 This bullshit that didn't happen over the last 4 days. I was like, are people buying this? Like people really believing this? Like, are people really buying this? This thing that happened in Australia. Do not believe the hype, child, because the very first video that I saw of that madness, I said, is anybody buying this? That this is what we see is actually what it is? Is anybody buying this? Is anybody buying this? I'm not talking about did people die, because I recognize that happened. What I'm saying is how the very first video that I see of this thing that happened in Australia, and there was like 6 angles of people holding cameras of the shooting, but it looked like movie grade quality recordings of all these angles, every single shot. There's video footage of the Muslim dude jumping the other guy and removing his gun. There's video footage of the man and his son on the bridge popping shots. Video footage. How's the video footage of the man and his son popping shots? Video footage of the angle when they separate, like all these different. Who was these people holding these cameras? Who was these people holding these? Because it was obvious there was somebody holding these cameras. These do not look like still film footage that would come from like cameras on light posts in the area. How you got 6 angles of the entire single aggression from beginning to end, but nobody stopped them until you also get the footage of the man running to bum rush the dude. I said, this looks like a goddamn movie production. How these dudes was able to walk in broad daylight on the bridge with assault rifles strung over their shoulders. How they did that? How did whoever was holding all these multiple cameras in all these multiple angles was just alerted to all of a sudden at the same time be videoing the same thing at the same time from all these different angles? How that happen? I was like, is anybody buying that they saying this is what it is? The same day the Brown University shoot, all this shit popped off. And I told y'all last week before this shit happened, when my homeboy sent me that text talking about what you think, what the astrologers got to say about what Candace Owens just said about a 9/11 event happening in the second week of December. I said, well, it makes sense if you believe what I'm about to say about the astrology of your president, about the astrology of the United States, about the astrology of this week. The 12 tour portal was last week. Neptune station direct that same week, 2 days before, as a matter of fact. So that makes sense to me. I said, but when she said 9/11 style event, what she meant was false flag operations to get your attention off the damn near 15 pieces of legislation that was passed in the midst of this chaos put in front of your face to distract your attention. That 3 days ago, something like that, this dude was on Democracy Now, the Amy Goodman show, talking about how he got people up in the shit who leaked one of the pieces of legislation that was passed in the chaos of the Australia thing that um, spelled out very specifically what were going to be actions, activities, words, behaviors that are now going to be deemed as as domestic terrorism in the United States. That just happened while I was watching this Hollywood movie production in Australia. And the list, I'm gonna have to print out the list. And the list, I was like, okay, so if all these things are the things that now Homeland Security gonna be looking out for as signs of domestic terrorism and shit, then the first thing I'm gonna need y'all to do as the Department of Homeland Security is arrest your president. More than half the things on the list your president who just signed that shit is guilty of. Go get your boy first. Before you start coming for anybody, go get your boy first. I said, I hadn't read this. I was like, well, damn, Trump did like 20 of these things. Y'all gonna get him first? So, listen, pivot your attention, because all they're doing is playing in your face. Pivot your attention. We have power to embrace. We have power to embrace. We have power to take possession of. That's our only mission. That's our only purpose. It may look a million different ways, but we are talking about the seizure of power. That's what we're talking about. In everything, in every action, how is this moment that I am doing this food drive contributing to this singularity? This arrival of the Messiah, not from outside, from deep within. Right? There's so much more I want to say, but I'm going to just tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to purge my YouTube channel so I can see if they'll stop shadow banning me so I don't have 4,000 viewers for another year. So what I'm going to do is purge my YouTube channel of anything that is live, because when I'm live, I'm not going to self-censor. I'm just not going to do that. So what I'll do is I'll repost that shit piece by piece on Patreon, and this channel will be reserved. So the only thing I'll keep up on this channel is the books that I've read. So I can change some things on my YouTube channel that will give me more views and therefore more money. Tomorrow is Wednesday. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to print out this list so that I can start really bigging y'all up, shouting y'all out for the contributions that you've made to the channel and to the temple. I'm going to be making a call. Baby, I'm up in here. I'm going to be making a call. Some of y'all going to have to move out here temporarily to help me run this campaign. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all gonna have to come up out here so we can wage this contest. You feel me? And I would prefer the somebodies that come up out here to be black and female. We stage in the contest and we have to be at the center of that contest. I'm talking about us, melanated women, dark skin, nappy hair, big nose dick, big booty, big titty, having stretch marks on your belly and ass. Us. That's what's got to happen. So now both my phones have died. So I guess that's my cue. So I'll talk to you about more piece by piece, but yeah, this is it. This is the time. This is the moment. We up in it. We all the way up in it. So now I'm going to go to sleep. Now I'm tired. Damn, I was on here for that long. Ugh. Yeah, let me get up off here. I appreciate y'all. evoemetemp if you want to reserve a reading, get a divination, whatever. If you want to send a Zelle or a PayPal, use that same email address, evoemetemp@gmail.com. Support the GoFundMe that I have active. If you need information about the GoFundMe, do the same thing. Email me at evoemetemp@gmail.com. Cashapp is $Daughter of the Fates, FATES. Venmo is my name, Cassandra, with two S's, CASSANDRA dash Floyd, not underscore, dash Floyd, FLOYD. The Etsy store is only going to be up for a little while. I'll talk to y'all about that more tomorrow, but I'm doing a flash sale of stuff that I already have made at deeply discounted prices. The only way you will be able to get it is tomorrow when I do like this kind of, boy, get in there, cut it out. You doing too much, turkey. Ugh. Chomp. Ooh. You always got to do the most. Jive turkey. Bullshit. Ugh. Ugh. Chomp. So what I'm gonna do is like pull out the stuff that I already have made, and basically y'all can bid on it here. I will take pictures of it. You feel me? But whatever I have made, I'm selling deeply discounted. If it's on the website, DaughterOfTheFates.etsy.com, I am not selling it that way. I'm only selling this way that which I already have made in hand, so I can liquidate it, get it the hell up out of here. Because as soon as this stuff is sold, and I fill I think I have 6 orders right now on my Etsy store. I told you I have a 25% discount on everything on Etsy until January 1st. As soon as I finish these orders that are ordered and liquidate the stuff that I already have made, I'm shutting the Etsy store down. I'm probably just going to sleep it, like put it in vacation mode for a while, because I'm not going to be able to be spread this thin and run a campaign in the city of Los Angeles. I'm not, like, I have to like unhand everything that's only making me pennies here and there. That's why I was really saying I got to really purge this YouTube channel so that I can get my YouTube channel to, at bare minimum, pay my monthly rent so that I can focus on this campaign without tripping, without stressing. And I think my YouTube channel has the ability to do that, but I have to move a lot of videos with the explicatives on it. So I'm removing and purging everything up off of here that is not me book reading. Everything else is going to go. And it'll be archived for me to like upload in my Patreon periodically. And so y'all just be ready for that. But the stuff I have about, and so the liquidation, I'll show y'all the pieces tomorrow. So maybe I'll do 2 or 3 videos tomorrow just to show you what I have available that I'm trying to liquidate. The price for the earrings is, all the earrings are $10, 2 for $15, or 3 for $20, something like that, right? 10, 2 for $15, 3 for $20. The bracelets, only the ones that are being liquidated. The bracelets are 20. The goddess necklaces are 25. I have crystals, like crystal quartz that I still have left from my last dig during the eclipse in Arkansas. So I still have 2 boxes of those, 3 for $5 for the crystal quartz, the little crystal quartz pieces, shit like that. I am moving everything. I will show you more clear pictures tomorrow, and see if I can look. And then, you would pay for the shipping, but literally $10, $15, $20, nothing really is like more than that. I'll get that out of here, and you pay for shipping $5. and I will ship that shit out this week so you can have it by next week if you do the holidays or whatever. And then I'm gonna turn that store off for a while. I'm gonna sleep the store for a while and narrow my focus. So I'll keep y'all posted. I'll let y'all know when the website launches because I have work for you guys. Even if you don't come out here, those of you who are tuned in, I have a particular aspect of the campaign that I'm going to be calling on y'all to participate in. So if you're not here in LA. So all that being said, I'm gonna say good night. And I'll be prepared to say more tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm glad I could rap with y'all for a little bit. And I will see y'all tomorrow. All right. Good night. Man.